Great practical joke, Jim. Got me go to the annex. No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Let's talk Joseph Gordon Levitt and Reed Richards. So, subject change. Y'all gotta let me know in the chat. In the chat, let me know. Let me know. In the chat. Yes or no? Joseph Gordon Levitt as Reed Richards. Yes or no? Do you want it? Do you hate it? Do you not know who Joseph Gordon Levitt is? Don't bring that up in the chat. They'll make fun of you pretty bad. Just keep that one to yourself. Oh, this is really interesting to me. So I've actually anticipated this. I actually felt as though this would be the way that it is. I'm seeing a 70-30 split. 70% of people are no. Now let me ask you, chat. Let me ask you. Yes or no, and be honest. I'll know if you're lying. Let me know yes or no. Yes or no is the reason you don't want Joseph Gordon Levitt because of John Krasinski. Okay, a lot of no's. I'm actually surprised by that. There's a lot of yeses in there. Fair bit of no's, though. I'm actually surprised. Okay, so maybe many of you just don't think he's right for the role. Yeah, so, look, originally when I heard about, and by the way, this comes from Charles Murphy, and the deal is, let's talk about what the actual story is before we get wild, okay? Because here's the thing. We're speculating here. You know, we're speculating. But I have this funny sort of humorous thought that this is probably going to happen, and the reason it's funny is because we talked about this. We talked about how if they don't do John, some fans might get upset. Let me be crystal clear. In order to, I think, appease the sort of fan feelings, you would need to pick someone that felt similar to John, which is weird. In and of itself, it's weird. It's all weird. It's like a fan casting that was so good, we're inevitably set up for heartbreak. Because it's not going to happen. Joseph Gordon Levitt has met with higher-ups at Marvel recently. Charles Murphy's good at what he does. I believe him. And he's talked about, and he did an article about this, he talked about all the different things that it could be for. Now, there was a rumor that he was a front runner for Moon Knight, but Charles, if you read the article, he kind of makes it seem like the Oscar Isaac thing or whatever that is maybe figured out or has been in deep negotiation for a long, long time, because when talking about this, Charles says that it's possible that Joseph Gordon Levitt is even just coming in to do writing on Moon Knight to keep it authentic. Some people think he could be Richard Rider. Joseph Gordon Levitt as Richard Rider, I think could work. But before we get off of this, let me just say that the more I thought about it, here's the thought I had, and I'll just sort of tell you my thought, and then we'll kind of go from there, okay?
Okay.
What if part of the problem is that we're casting for a version of the Fantastic Four that it doesn't actually exist anymore? We're casting for a version of Reed Richards that is sort of a combo of the Fox films and what we remember from the comics. It's kind of like a weird amalgamation. Is that a word? Amalgamation?
That's not even a word!
It's like this weird combo of elements that we think of for the character, right? And I started to think of like, well, what if Feige has like a totally different idea, like a totally different vibe? And then I started to think of Joseph Gordon Levitt, who I think is a tremendous actor, who I think is an incredible actor, actually. I started to think of his interactions as the Reed Richards character, mind you, with some of the other, potential characters over there. And I was like, dude, he could do it. It would be a different vibe than I think a lot of us are maybe at least look like maybe I want to say that we're looking for, but that's not really what I mean. I think it's just like more of like our gut level base kind of desire for the characters. Yeah, and so Dan says someone suggested the Council of Reeds. I saw that and I agree, and we can go there now. Someone suggested the Council of Reeds would be mad if we got John, David Washington, and Dave Patel all cast for them. Yeah, dude. Okay, so great point. Timothy Olyphant could do it too, yeah. Because I think this is what's going to be cool is, so we're getting some version of Council of Lokis, maybe Council of Kangs. You know, we're breaking the multiverse open, obviously. I think you might see a scenario where Earths are linked. Like there's basically all of the realities have a pair, and in those pairs share stage 4 symmetry. And this will be how we have Electro, Doc Ock, all of these different characters from the Sony movies, but they're going to be slightly different. Level 4 symmetry. Thank you. I believe this will be the explanation for how we're able to pull characters from those worlds, have them familiar enough to audiences that they are, for all intents and purposes, the same character, which is important. But also for the sweats that are going to get out like the chalkboard and try to figure it all out, they might put in some lines and make it so there is an explanation there. You know what I mean? And then the parallel Earths are a part of that. And so I think we could see versions of the characters from our universe that look exactly the same. Truthfully, I feel as though this might happen. If this exact scenario doesn't happen, I think a similar scenario will happen. And I think we need to start opening ourselves up to the possibilities of whatever the MCU Fantastic Four looks like, it being just different maybe than what has come before. But we have to trust that at its core, it will represent those characters. You know, that whole team, Feige, the whole company, they care deeply. But they do change things, and they make a cinematic version. Okay, let's get into the super chats. Everybody, get your super chats going. Barbaric Riemann says, could they do the one type thing so that people get stronger if the other realm people die? Ooh, okay, so first of all, that is such a callback to an old Jet Li movie that like nobody saw, but that was actually really dope. Will with the $5 holla says, are you and Theory open to doing a Q&A on Nerd Theory? Maybe do a join members so you won't be spam or trolled. Sure, yeah, man. We want to grow the show and we want to develop the show and we want to do different things with it, but at the same time, look, we're trying to do something there. You know, there's the work being done that maybe isn't being seen, I think is the best way to say it. Thank you, though. Topher says, how can you think Blade will connect to everything? Or how do you think Blade will connect to everything? So that's an interesting question. What I'm hoping, and we have very little information on this, right? So let's just start there. Very little info, high level of speculation coming at your brain right now. But what I would hope is that the mystical side of the MCU, which I do think will be explored a little bit more. For instance, there will be a vampire in Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi. So I think they're going to start to introduce and set up this idea of the mystical side of things and how it all ties together. I mean, Moon Knight will deal with this. A lot of the Doctor Strange stuff deals with this. Wanda deals with this. We've got Agatha Harkness. We've got a lot of the sort of pieces for this. And so I think that that's the solution. That's how I would connect Blade to everything. And he's been in the shadows, quite literally. Scott says, what video game are you most excited to play that will be released in 2021? A couple different answers. Okay. Halo Infinite, but I'm nervous. There's also an MMO out there called Ashes of Creation. And right now it is in alpha testing. And eventually it's going to get to beta, and I'm really looking forward to checking that out in beta. So, CGM Show says, did you see those Eternals character bios? I did not, but I'll check it out. Neil Boogie, you sure you aren't related to George Lucas with the $4? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Dirt Wizard with the $10 holla says, Star Wars idea. If they ever did live action Quinlan Voss, I think Idris Elba is the guy for that role. The best part of waking up is den of nerds in your cup. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, man. All right, everybody. We're going to call it there, okay? Check out for... Oh, you know what? You're definitely going to want to watch the edited version of Nerd Theory from last night. Adam did a great edit. It hits hard, but it's fair. It's funny. Check that out later on the main channel, okay? All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me. Be back at it tomorrow. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Oh.